Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. I'm getting started to do a Little Golden Book junk journal mass make. I am making kits for Little Golden Book journals, and I am just getting started today, so I thought I would jump on and show you how I'm doing that. I have picked 6 books here that I'm going to be turning into journals. I'm going to be keeping the spine intact and the book pages in order. So today I'm going to start by disassembling the book so that it could be reused and upcycled into a junk journal. Okay, so I've got The Tale of Peter Rabbit, What's Up in the Attic, 2 books of Scuffy the Tugboat, The Princess and the Pea, and Grumpy Cat. So these are the ones I'm going to work on today. I thought I'd show you how I dismantle them. Typically they have 2 signatures in this book. I love the pictures. I love these kitschy kind of, I don't know, cute. And I love the colors. Okay, so typically they have 2 signatures, 12 pages. So I'm going to count to 6 and know that that's probably the middle of the book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so some books, here's my disclaimer, some books are really difficult and some are a lot less. So to do this, I'm going to use my, I have a little screwdriver that I can use for this. But what I'm going to do, they have 2 staples in them. They're not always in the same place, which I've learned. So I'm just going to kind of pull gently apart. Now I don't want to pull too hard because I really would like this spine to stay intact. I don't want to rip it. It has happened, and then I just have to repair it. Let me, so I'm just gonna, and now I can see where that staple is, so I'm going to kind of put my thumbs there and just kind of gently pull apart. Eventually they will just unfold, but it just takes patience repetition of this motion to get them apart. Now as it starts to pull apart, I feel that I'm going to come in here with my little screwdriver and kind of turn it a little bit right where those staples are, just to give it a little help. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try again. Slow. There, they're releasing. There's one, and there's the other one. Okay, so you can see that there's 2 signatures here. I'm gonna pull this one off. They do have a little bit of glue on them, usually not much. I'm going to grab my pliers and kind of straighten this out so the pages don't get caught up on those staples. So let's see here. There we go. Just so gently, take your time. Okay, so now I have got these 2 out. I'm going to paper clip them together so I don't lose them. And I have found, for let's have a look at the spine. Looks pretty good, pretty good. I have found that for me the best way is to just kind of bend these over and press them flat. I'm going to be covering them up with a reinforced like really heavy-duty chipboard to reinforce the spine so it doesn't fold in on itself. So definitely want to make sure you have your tetanus shots up to date when you're dealing with these, because sometimes those are really rusty. Okay, so that looks good to me. The next thing that I do is I kind of just open this up here, the gap between, and I put a little piece of chipboard in there. And I do that because I don't want this to fold later. So I just kind of gently kind of open this gap up a little bit. You got to be careful. You don't want to tear it, and it's always a little scary. Sometimes I'll just kind of push it open a little with this screwdriver ever so gently. Okay, so there's the spine. It looks pretty good to me. I'm going to grab this cardboard strip here that I've borrowed from something else. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of mark how wide I want that. It's going to be pressed right and glued right in the middle here. So I'm going to freehand cut this because I can always go back and trim in whatever places I need to make it smaller. So I don't worry too much about that. So I'm just gonna cut this. It's probably a little too wide right there. Let's see. And I didn't used to put this in the spine, and then I saw another creator. Her name was Lillian. I wish I remembered her last name. She did it. She put this in here, and I thought, oh, so it doesn't fold. It's another guarded layer to help protect the spine. So I thought, I love that. So as we glue this in and push it in, this will become more flat and definitely protected. And then I'll move on to the next step. So let me glue this in. Perfect. And I'm gonna tuck it there at the top. And I'm just gonna use, you could use whatever, old credit card, your bone folder. I have this, it's actually from the Cricut machine I bought years ago. And it came with, I don't know, some kind of organizer. And these are the separators. So, but it makes a great bone folder. So I definitely use it for that. Okay. Excuse me. And then I'm just going to trim that off right there. And let's have a look. That looks great. In love with that. Okay, so my next step here that I do, excuse me, my voice is a little raspy, is I put tape on this. And this is my least favorite part, I have to say, because it's really hard to get it straight. So I'm going to clip this to my mat and hope for the best here. Hope we can get it straight. So I've got this book straight along. Let me just peek my head in here. I want it to be along that line. Yes. Okay. And then, where did my tape go? Let me see. Where did it go? Where did it go? I had a roll of packing tape right here. Isn't that funny how like things disappear? I'm gonna come right back. Let me go grab the roll of tape and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So I found the packing tape is what I use. And I go ahead and kind of, I want this to be in the middle of it. So I want some on the front and some on the back. It doesn't bother me how much is on the each, but I just want it straight. So I'm going to stick it down, and I see the edge of the tape going right here along the 18. So I'm going to take my little folder and fold. I'm really pressing down the middle first. I really want that down the middle, and pretty good. It's a little bit crooked over here, but I'm okay with that. And then I cut it off. Okay, so I think that was a little out of camera. So I went all the way down to this end, right? And I pressed it, and I'm going to press it here in the edges, here, I mean in this crease, and then I'm going to go and press it out here in the edges. This is how I try to get no wrinkles in it. It's very difficult sometimes, but that is my goal. And then I do wrap it around to the inside of the book, because nobody's going to see this tape, but it's just going to reinforce. I'm going to have a wide ribbon that goes down here, and also I will have a chipboard reinforced spine on here also, so it will definitely not be seen, so I don't really worry about what that looks like, but I do feel like it gives it a little something extra in the stability. Okay, so here we go. We have got, oh, there's a huge flare, a beautiful intact spine. Okay, I'll go ahead and show you. Let me grab my chipboard. This is very, very sturdy chipboard kind of cardboard. I'm going to lift you up a little bit so you have a more broader view. All right. Actually, this is not the one I want to use. Where is the one? I thought I had some more of it. It's an interesting feel to it that I liked. Ah, here. What's this one? I think it's this one that I was using on the other ones. I have a little pile of chipboard that I keep. This one's more straight, so we'll use this one to use for my projects. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and measure. I don't like measuring, so this is kind of how I do it with a pencil, and I mark it. So I know that it's going to bend here, and so I'm going to mark it here, and then I'm going to cut it a little bit larger, and then we'll make it go down to the right size. I marked it on the wrong side, didn't I? Oh, that's interesting. All right, let me make this straight. All right, so I've got here, and then I'm going to mark it over here. I can see at the bottom where it bends, you know, where it's bending, and I want it to right to the edge of that bend. So let's see if that's gonna work out, or if I'm gonna need to skim some off. We shall see. And I don't know, that looks really thin, so I might have to try again. Let me check the width. Ooh, that might actually be perfect. So I check by folding them both up with it down in the middle, and then I look at the end. I will be gluing it here, right? So I want to make sure that it needs a little trim. So I want to make sure that it fits in between with this closed, right? So that's what I'm looking for. So I need a little trim. I'm going to trim on this side, and we'll see how that goes. And that looks perfect. So this can press down easily on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And then I'm going to let that dry. So I'm just gluing it right over these little staples. All right. I want to make sure I got all the edges there. I need a little more. I think that's too thin. There we go. It will be sewed in anyway when I do my signatures, so don't worry too much about it, but I do want it to have a good adhesion. So let me go ahead here. I'm just gonna push and hold and push and hold. Make sure it's centered correctly, and it is. And that's gonna be beautiful. So then I usually take a couple of little clips, and then I put this under something really heavy. It's a little short, which is okay, but I'm just going to push it up towards the top more, I think. And then I'm going to push this over to be, put it over to put like a heavy book on it so that it puts a weight here in the middle. And we'll go ahead and dry that way. I have like a 5-pound weight that I put on top of a book. All right, so that is how we do the book cover, and then I will move on and work on the inner pages. Thanks, guys.